Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and this week is the release week of Fantastical Flames. Hope you guys are able to grab something nearby. I know it might be a little difficult for me to get anything. My vending machines barely have anything. I saw one Surging Sparks pack today, so that was hype. But yeah, I'm really excited for the release of Fantastical Flames. Obviously, it's called Inferno X in Japanese, and we're starting to get, a look at what the prices might be settling down to. Right now, it's at 1.9k for Inferno X, and that's really just being carried by the Mega Charizard Gold and SIR cards. The rest of the cards, none of them even break $100. Obviously, Oricorio, you got the Shinji Kanda artwork, which looks amazing. Dawn is a pretty popular trainer, but the other SIRs just don't really hit. There's Lopunny, Sharpedo. These aren't Pokemon that are especially popular. Rotom, I think, actually is a really cool SIR, but I don't know why they keep getting Rotom SIRs over and over again. Love the Flygon illustration rare and the Piplup illustration rare. I think those are some pretty solid artworks. Kind of wish we got an Empoleon SIR, but it is what it is. They don't really show love to the Gen 4 starters like that. But in any case, I'm sure we'll see this kind of total set value come down over time. Sorry, let me go back to Mega Symphonia and Mega Brave, so you can kind of see that these did end up coming out. They were over 1,000 each, and they definitely did come out, but they settle down to a combined total of 1.8k, which is still pretty solid. But I think honestly the Mega base set is much stronger than Fantastical Flames. You have two gold cards, you have a Gardevoir, you have a Latias, you have Lucario, you have Venusaur, you have a Lily card. Obviously in Japanese is bigger, but the English set right now has a pretty decent set value, but I think it's actually going to eclipse, the Fantastical Flames set value. Right now it's at 3.5k. Sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. She's very talkative. But yeah, I think this, Mega Evolution base set was pretty good. I actually think Fantastical Flames is going to be a little bit worse. Yes, Charizard is amazing. This is one of the best Charizard SIRs we've ever gotten, for sure. The only problem that I have with this set is we get Charizard chases all the time. It's a very common chase. It happens pretty much every single generation. We get a new big Charizard chase that it like pushes a single set, and usually it's not enough to sustain the value of that set or make it the best set to invest in. Would I be dropping over $300, over $400 for a Fantastical Flames booster box? No. That's my cat agreeing with me, saying no. Yeah, I would not be dropping that. Hopefully I'm gonna try to pick it up under 250. If you're looking at investing into the sealed product. If you want to buy the SIR outright, I would wait for the English version to come out and then buy the Japanese. If you want the cheapest kind of possible version of the artwork, that's probably what I'm going to do. Or you could just buy the English version after a few months, after people have opened a lot of the product and it's out there. Right now they're selling for $1,200. Insane price. Guys, don't pay these prices. I know the people buying these are like, I don't know, some kind of like Arabian prince that has a ton of money from a dynasty, but $1,800, like it's just kind of insane for a Charizard that's going to come out soon. And we've seen what happens to other Charizard chases after a year, after a few months. The Pelion Fates Charizard chase is around 230. I think this is probably one of the better, Charizard chases we've gotten in a while. Charizard SIR. Forgot about the 151 Charizard SIR. The 151 Charizard SIR is around 290. Obviously, this was printed into Oblivion. But I've been watching some Fantastical Flames, streams, and it does look like it's not the hardest thing in the world to pull. Maybe it just depends on the stream. I don't know if the pull rates are easier or not. We'll see that later. But yeah, around 200 to 300. Obsidian Flames. I think unfortunately, this Charizard card just doesn't look amazing. So it's settled around $70 to $100 raw. Okay, wait. Why is this? How did this Charizard PSA 10 said? Wait, what? Okay, I don't know what this is. In any case, that can't be real, right? Moving on to other Charizard chases, we have, Champion's Path with the Rainbow Charizard, around 150. If you want, the big chase. It actually is a pretty big chase for just the V in a 10. That also is pretty, sought after. I think it's a cool looking card, actually, 510. And then, obviously Burning Shadows has one of the most iconic Charizards as well, 400, 230. And this is not me trying to say that Charizard chases are bad necessarily. It's just that if you're relying on a set to be carried by a single chase card, that can oftentimes spell disaster, right? Inferno X has a pretty insanely high set value, but again, English hasn't released yet, so that means that the Japanese is going to drop once English releases because the demand is kind of built in for both markets when Japanese is the one that gets it first. And, these are the only chase cards that are worth over $100, and they're hard carrying the set. Once people get tired of seeing this artwork, and it's been out for a while, like I'm not going to lie, it looks amazing. Obviously, the card is absolutely insane. The artist absolutely, cooked on this with the full evolution line. I think people are going to get over the novelty of it. It's going to happen all the time. People FOMO into the newest thing and then they get tired of it. As with all the other Charizards that have ever been released, have ever been sought after for the beginning, and then they just kind of have a huge crash. Obviously, it's going to happen. I'm kind of curious to see how far this Charizard chase crashes and where Fantastical Flames really ends up. I think it's a set I'm going to buy a few boxes of, but I'm not really too big on over-indexing here. I think there's actually going to be other sets in the Mega Evolution era that I'm more excited for. If we see a return to Gen 3 set, and including Mega Rayquaza, Primal, Kyogre and Groudon, I think that set might actually do a lot better. Imagine like SIRs of the Gen 3 legendaries. That would be insane. The Gengar set is looking to be really solid. The Mega Dragonite and Gengar set, I think, looks pretty solid from what I'm seeing. So I am, cautiously optimistic about Fantastical Flames. Again, probably going to buy a box or two. I wasn't able to secure anything from the Pokemon Center. It was just too late. So I'm going to have to buy a PCETV of that to complete my collection. But honestly, I think I'm just going to recommend you buy the PCETV and you buy maybe a booster box or two. This set, while it looks good, it's not the best. Even the Oricorio chase is actually going to be a UPC promo. So the second best chase being a promo is also, or I guess third best chase being a promo is not really the best sign for a set. Again, Charizard heavy, not a great secondary cast. I'm actually a little bit, not optimistic about this set. I think it's going to be good, but I just don't think it's going to be as good as people are hyping it up to be. I'm going to be honest, the rest of the set is fairly weak. Again, Piplup and Flygon, I think, are amazing arts, but I'll be honest, the rest of these are just not really that fun. Actually, I like this Ludicolo. I like Ludicolo. He's a G, but other than that, I think the set is pretty mild. I'm kind of curious to see what the reaction is for Fantastical Flames and where the price will settle, as I said before. But let me know down in the comments, are you guys going to buy Fantastical Flames when it comes out? I really could see this set just tanking after people have gotten used to it and people have seen it everywhere because, Charizard heavy sets, as I've said in the past, they just don't really tend to hold up that well. I'm looking at Obsidian Flames, I'm looking at Champion's Path, Burning Shadows, for example. They did not perform well compared to the other sets in their era. Obsidian Flames actually performed decently, I can't lie. So maybe that is a point against me. But Champion's Path and Burning Shadows obviously didn't. So, maybe Fantastical Flames will do better than I assume it will. But who knows? I think we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.